What's going on, everyone? My name's Ver, and this is the Commuter Experience.
Ver actually works in Santa Monica, so we do like that it allows him to have that commuter experience. So he does take the buses and train over to work.
Actually, come to think of it, I probably shouldn't be calling it that anymore because I've been home for the last week. If you're unaware, there's this global illness going around that has caused companies to ask their employees to stay home. Some people have lost hours, and some people have also lost their jobs due to what's going on. So initially what started was my company wanted to do a trial run of 3 days for employees to work remotely to see if our company can operate. That happened about a week ago, or over a week ago, and it was doing okay until day 2. Our CEO emailed out an order for the company to work remotely for a month. Given that, we were like, okay, I guess I'm not gonna see my coworkers for a while. After that announcement was made, my fiance and I decided to go to Costco. Surprisingly enough, a lot of supplies were out of stock, like toilet paper, water, but we were fortunate enough to go the next morning on the weekend, line up for about 30 minutes, get some TP, water, and then groceries that we needed. I understand not every company is enforcing their employees to work from home, and I also understand that not everyone is able to work from home or fortunate to work from home, especially our grocery store clerks, our healthcare providers, anyone that is required to go into work to do their job. This is just the perspective of my experience since I'm not commuting to work anymore. If you're new to the channel, I started posting on YouTube earlier this year because of the attention CNBC Make Its Millennial Mortgage caught wind of. In that video, it was specifically about the commuter experience, so I started posting videos about my commute to work, what I do, books I read, anything related to my commute, and anything else related to how I'm saving money because I do not drive to work in terms of time, money. If you're interested in that video, link in the description below. Please remember to like and subscribe to the video. That all aside, the main thing that I've been doing since the announcement of the illness and the spread and all these orders that have been made is social distancing. If you're not aware, the global illness has been spreading at a ridiculous rate, and the best thing we can do is stop the spread of the illness as well as not getting infected by it. With the announcement from the World Health Organization, the best thing we can do right now is just stay indoors and wash our hands so we prevent the spread of the disease. Because even though you might not be feeling any symptoms, you could potentially still be a carrier and potentially affect others. So the point of this video that I'm trying to get at is how it has affected my commuter experience lifestyle. I normally commute 4 to 5 days a week on the bus and train, so that is totally eliminated. Sometimes buses and trains can get really crowded, so this is a very fortunate thing that I'm staying home. Aside from all that, here are some of the things that I've noticed while working from home just in the last week. The first thing that I'm noticing less that's different from my commuter experience to and from work is I'm reading a lot less. It sounds like a first world problem, but it's just, again, something that I've noticed differently working from home just this week. If you have watched the other videos on my channel, a few of them have to do about book reviews where I talk about the books that I read on my commute. Since I'm no longer commuting, I'm just reading a lot less now. This has turned into me sleeping in more since I'm not commuting, and also when I wake up, I just hop onto the computer and start working. I definitely could be reading, but since I'm not used to reading at home, this has just been a product of that drastic change. Hopefully I'll get back into it since I'll be here a while until I go back to the office. The number 2 thing that I've noticed just in the last week is that there are more dishes. This is kind of silly, but whenever I eat at home, it's just dinner. I usually skip breakfast because I'm on the go, I just drink a cup of coffee and then I'm on my commute. When I get to work, I just eat lunch, and then when I get home, I just eat 1 meal. Since I'm not home majority of the week, I don't typically eat 3 meals a day at home. Now that I'm home, my fiance and I are actually eating all 3 meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner together, so that's definitely a lot more dishes to manage. Like I mentioned, since we were fortunate enough to get the food that we needed from the grocery store, my hope is that we minimize the amount of time we have to leave the house to go get groceries. When we did go get groceries, we actually had to wait in line for about 30 minutes to get into the store. Oddly enough, after waiting the 30 minutes, we got into the store. It wasn't crowded. They had all the supplies that we needed, food and TP and water, but it was limited to, a certain amount per item. I also hope that if you do go to the grocery store, please don't panic buy. There are definitely other people who would probably need some supplies too. The third thing that I've noticed is I'm working more. This makes me chuckle, and it probably makes you chuckle a little bit more too, because it makes it sound like I don't work a lot in the office, but that's not true. What I mean to say is when I'm working on the couch or I'm working at my desk on my computer, I'm working for a longer amount of time straight without getting up or taking a break. Usually at work, I have a note on my desk that says, get up, take a walk, go get a drink of water. But at home, since I'm so comfortable on the couch or I'm comfortable in my own personal, workstation seat, I'm just sitting there working for hours. Sometimes I skip lunch, sometimes it's already dinner time. Just from the last couple days, that's something that I've noticed. Right now, my team has been coordinating with a bunch of other teams, developing and deploying new features to this migration that we're trying to do. It's definitely a crunch time, but it's definitely been worth it working with other teams and my teammates. And the unfortunate part is that we were quarantined at the time when we started doing it. Fortunately, we're able to still operate at the rate that we were scheduled to do if we were in the office. Me not getting up from my couch or the seat should definitely change soon. I should probably go and do a workout right now. The fourth thing that I've noticed while working at home is I'm definitely spending a lot less money. Since we haven't really left the house, we're not eating out, I'm not getting my boba like I usually do, which is actually a joke because I make my own cold brew. I make my own cold brew, and this is why we were able to get a house, because I save money on coffee. I highly recommend during this time to save money on top of your essential spending being your mortgage or rent, minimum food, and then on top of that, if you're able to, save that money, for a rainy day fund just in case of an emergency. I understand not many might be able to do this, but I do suggest just trying to minimize spending at this time. Since restaurants and bars are closed, you don't need to spend money there. The fifth thing I noticed is I haven't smashed the like button on this video yet. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. But joking aside, one last thing that I've noticed in the last week is I'm kind of losing weight. This one's kind of funny because I've been eating snacks, I've been snacking, I've been drinking, sugary drinks. I think what's happening is I've lost some muscle mass because I haven't been to the gym lifting weights. Right before LA County was locked down, Janelle and I went to the beach to go for a run. And then literally that night when we got home, the announcement was made that we should stay inside. If you're also stuck at home, I do suggest, getting up, taking a break every once in a while. That's advice I should also be taking. Do some push-ups when you wake up, sit-ups, whatever you gotta do to get moving, just because, we're in a time where we're not moving a lot. That said, I honestly hope that everyone is staying safe and making good decisions. Please stay at home as much as you can to help decrease the risk of getting infected or spreading the infection if you potentially have it. You can still spread the illness if you do not have any symptoms. This goes out to all the younger individuals especially, because I understand it could be spring break or you're bored and you want to go out and see your friends and family.
If I get corona, I get corona.
Corona's bad, we need a refund.
I just turned 21 this year, so I'm here to party, so it's kind of disappointing.
It sucks, and I'm from New Orleans, so this really sucks.
Stay indoors, minimize the amount of times you go out, see them on FaceTime, there's technology, you can play video games with them on Xbox Live or the computer. Whatever you gotta do, just do the best you can to minimize you going out and potentially spreading this disease. You'll not only help yourself, but you're also helping the individuals who aren't able to stay home, especially the healthcare professionals helping the sick. They're definitely putting themselves at risk, and they could potentially run out of supplies and medical devices to help treat their patients. I'm making this video sort of like a journal entry just to remember what it was like at this time. In my lifetime, in our lifetime, in this generation, we haven't experienced anything like this before. So this is definitely world history in the making. My hope is that we did make the right decision and we were able to just pass it. I'm definitely wary of the situation. My mom, my grandma, they're definitely in that range of age where they could potentially be infected and it could be fatal. I'm definitely worried about them, but my hope is, again, hopefully we can get through this and be able to say that we overcame it. That said, please give the video a like if you haven't already done so. Please subscribe to the channel and hit the little notification bell so you know the next time that I post a video on my channel. My hope is I don't post another video about this topic, but we'll see. I just wanted to share my experience during this time because of this drastic change. While we're in quarantine, you can also follow me on Instagram. I posted my link down below and my handle is right here. Thanks again for watching the video. Remember to wash your hands for at least 20 seconds. Be there for each other by not being there for each other physically, and we'll catch you again on the social distancing experience.